All right. Welcome. This is Rajat here from Startup Frat, welcoming you to another celeb interview session where people who are going to be super interactive in this session can win another beautiful. One sec. Alrighty, give me just a second. Alrighty, okay, let's get cracking. So I have a super special celebrity with you, which is Mr. Vishal Sinha, and his story is very simple. He was in a job in the manufacturing industry. He had a dream for the longest time, and he had basically he wanted to get into improving the education system in India by using gamification. So one of the things that, by the way, even I didn't know, and hopefully probably you guys probably know that there is a big gamification of education industry in India that I have also learned from Mr. Vishal. And one fine day, he pretty much that urge to that entrepreneur bug and the urge to actually it bit him so hard, he pretty much got up and he gave up his job and he went full time into his own startup. Now his startup, which is called Sanskriti Khel Vidya, and his website is Bipul Khel Vidya. You will see the logo on the top right of the screen, and he basically went full time into it, and he has been creating games for education, which is children that can play games, which is hard games. These are not software games. These are not played in the computer. It's basically hard copy games which they can actually play and get to learn a lot about India's culture and history and things like that. Okay. Now the key fun fact is that he basically, after going through a small period of struggle, he was able to apply for the Toycathon, which is a Govt of India competition, and he was able to win, be a part of the top 24 teams selected. And this was almost among 1.5 lakh participants. And he was felicitated by none other than the Prime Minister himself. And after that, he was able to secure funding for his company from one of the IITs. Today, he is also a mentor in the National Entrepreneurship Incubation Cell, where he is actually helping budding entrepreneurs to secure funding, to understand what should the mix be, how much should they focus on marketing, how much should they focus on the product, what are the different areas that they can showcase their company in order to get noticed, etc., etc. So it's a very super special session. The things that Vishal has done in his career are unprecedented. Okay, especially if you're watching this interview in the Startup Frat Hangout, in the Startup Frat community, you will see that as a community member, he's quite a unique person. His accolades are quite unique, and there's a lot of things that we can all learn from his story and from his successes. And then real quick, he will also be the top commenters on the stream, and all that can also get an interview slot or like a consultation slot with Mr. Vishal. We've been able to secure some slots as part of our program where we say, okay, we want to do a celebrity interview, but you also have to give us, our community members, some slots where they can consult with you. So if you're watching the stream right now, then please be one of the top commenters. And with that, let me just bring in Mr. Vishal Sinha with lots of clapping and everything. Let me just bring him in. I'm just going to bring him onto the camera, and then all of us can, do some clapping and everything. All right. Mr. Vishal, welcome. Thank you very much for giving us this time. Okay, awesome, very nice. So now we'll just get started. Let me just see if I can just do the chat overlay once more. And for some reason, unable to kind of display the chat comments over here. But that's fine. Let's get started. So if you're watching, please authorize yourself on chat.restream.io/FB. And let me just get started with the very first question. which is let me just first quickly outline who this interview is for. This interview is for helping budding entrepreneurs understand the new startup ecosystem in India. So if you want to go into the startup ecosystem and probably get funding, probably appear for awards and things like that, you'll get to learn a lot from this interview. All right. So real quick, Mr. Vishal, what is your origin story? What is your backstory? How did you get started? What was the job you were doing? How did you really get motivated to get into business?
So thank you, Rajat, for giving me the opportunity and for this interview. And I'm audible properly.
Yes, yes, yes. I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am basically an instrumentation engineer. I
Okay.
had my graduation from in 2009. I've been more into the technical field, and I used to have art factor in my life. Like I used to write also during my college days, and I like to see thing in a different sense from the engineering. After that, I had worked in various companies like Larsen and Tubro and General Electric Powers, and I traveled to almost all the country and all places in the country. So I mainly was working on the process technology and to see what innovation I can do on that, and I was supporting in consultancy sales. But it's like after 10 long years, I got my thing, like I thought like I should see to it what innovation I can do, and what is good for the country is the need of the hours, and rather than what I need. So when I feel, when I hear about the share of India is only 0.08% of the world in the toy industry. So that hurts me, because I'm a parent of I'm a father of two daughters. So I can understand that I can see that I'm not getting the good toys. So I felt this feeling of this 0.08% is something which drives me, like and there are many factors, but this thing was very much instrumental in making me to this level. And while I was doing this, I was a part of startup frat community. Luckily in April 2020 I joined startup frat group, and I joined my coach Rajat, and he supported me well. At that time I was working, at that time I was getting that mindset. So I was getting that mindset support, that how to start something and how to think in a right direction. So I was very much excited about doing new things and differently. And the best thing what I felt is the group, the startup frat group, the community has gave me the courage and the spine to really the to go for such kind of competition, which is very difficult for a corporate life. So that was a main thing. And for me, there are many turning points. While I was in college, I used to write articles on humanity. I used to write articles on humanity, and I was inspired by Swami Vivekananda, because as per Swami Vivekananda, each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest the divinity within. So that these words sparks me right from my life, and somewhere down the line I feel that I have to do something about it. So for a decade of working, it strikes, and I started working on my journey, a startup journey, and having that support of 6 a.m. club, where you get the best education right now. And the courses which are there in the startup red group is just awesome, and that has helped me in and the mentorship, actually the mentorship from all the and when the power of compounding happens, when two people talk about ideas then and implement, then you go to the different level. So that was a highly motivating factor for me, and to really take that transformation from a growing corporate life. I was a very successful corporate life, but I felt that while I was working in sales in corporate life, I was using my 1% of my brain. So I thought I have an option to really utilize it, because I find that I feel that I have some uniqueness. So I went into this education world, and this competition winning was one of the thing that sparks me to that gives me the courage, because other winners are there who are already in the gaming industry, And there are ways like the main aim of the vision is like a class 6 student or a class 7 student, can he or she at the age of 11 or 12 start thinking that at the age of 25 they become a Nobel Prize winner, Peace Prize winner. So that is my main goal. At least they should have that mindset that whether they can get the Nobel Peace Prize winner after 25 years. Right now, I have been witnessing from last 30, 40 years. Even my generation, even my previous generation, everyone is witnessing. We are witnessing there is a growth in terms of unicorn. There are 100 unicorns now, but we are not finding any kind of scientific development in terms of creation. So we want a world where where we can have an Einstein from our country. They have to think in the terms of creation rather than just because of the flow I want to do data analyst. Because of the flow I want to go machine learning. So that should be, that's something we should do. Think about what India wants. What is the best for us? So there I am thinking of making toys, and I have been approaching schools, and I am getting a lot of ideas. And thank you for everything.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
yeah.
So, what is the one core problem that you're now solving for new entrepreneurs? Because you got a new role. You're also mentor in the NEIC, National Entrepreneurship Incubation Cell. So,
Okay.
what are the core problems that you are solving for wannabe entrepreneurs today in your new avatar, where you are also, in addition to pursuing your own startup and all of that, you're also a guiding light for other people who want to shorten their learning curve. This journey has been very long. You have been thinking about it while you were in your job. It's also taken 2 years after you quit your job.
Yeah.
Balancing your own personal challenges. You have to balance finance with family and with the startup. So all of those things, including other things that people face in the startup ecosystem, what is it that the new entrepreneur can hope to gain from an alliance with you?
So I'd like to just say one more simple thing, like, when you go to bank and when you have that emotional connect, when you get a job, your father says or your family says that you have to go buy a house, take a loan or buy some hefty LIC interest premium so that you can save your future. So in doing so, I have been a witness of it. I have a lot of aspiration, but for 5-7 years I have been into all these juggles and buying a property or something like that. So I would suggest any new starter, new fresher who is watching me right now, like, or is going to get graduated. So I would advise him, like, never have a debt in life. The moment you have debt, you should take debt only for growth, not for start. Right. So it's like Adani is there, or any big player are there today. They are taking loan because they are already a basic business and they are growing. So all these big companies have it. They are growing. But don't just go into that emotional connect that, I have to buy a house, so for 20 years I will be engaged, then I will think about it. Because you don't have that agility at the age of 40. I have already lost the 15 years, and I am right now 36, and I am now starting. So that is my first advice. And then I would suggest that they have to get incubated. All the freshers, even if you have a single idea, even if that idea you feel is great, you have a convincing power. You don't have to get recognition from your friend or relative for that. If you are confident about it, you should try to get incubated, not because of the funding purpose, but because of there you will get very little fund, but the best part you will get is institutional support. Suppose I am associated with a IIT, so I get into contact with a 10 to 15 businessmen who are already are millionaire. So you get a very good ecosystem. So if I'm alone and I meet these millionaires, they will hardly meet me. So that is the biggest thing, the incubation, the power of ecosystem. And don't we go into the multiple idea syndrome. Now if you have something, something in mind that you want to solve, just focus on it. And what I have seen, to be honest, as a human, like, we also have so many of our multiple ideas. But I suggest, what I have done, I have actually done a course on design thinking and industrial design course from IIT Delhi, and I have also done some robotics course. So I am continuously studying also while I was doing started my business entrepreneurship. So what happened is, when I am doing a particular course, a competitive course, not just like a online course for 5-6 hours, it's a like competitive course for 3 months where you have a good competition and good good kind of ecosystem. So once you have that quality of the discipline, you will be definitely be focused on your particular idea. Even your professor will tell you, like even for me also, when I started this IIT Delhi course from industrial design, my professor used to say that, Vishal, why are you thinking about bus? Why are you thinking about transport system? You focus only on toys. So that made me stick to a niche, a small niche, because niche is everything. A niche, if you are good in niche, you don't have to become jack of all trade. Because if you are good in niche, you will be definitely better than 90%, 95% of the other rest. So that is what I would suggest, that don't go into the multiple idea syndrome, and have faith on yourself, and just have a mindset. You should, if you want to start, I would suggest, you are already in this startup red group. You already have that ecosystem, and I think I can definitely give some time also. I mean, if anyone is interested for kind of consultation, so that also I am very much open. And if I'm helpful to you, then it will be grateful to me. Thank you.
Awesome. So, what are some of the probably internal, I would like to say external barriers, internal barriers that probably you faced during your time, and what other entrepreneurs just like you are likely to be facing, and what are these barriers, and what advice can you give to budding entrepreneurs?
So the biggest barrier which we are taught, like, a particular, if a business community can only do business, that is the first thing, because we are living in a very different setup, where we have some kind of thing where some people can do business, some people can do IAS jobs, okay, some people can do something, some people can do
Yeah.
lawyer only. So we should have to change that kind of perception first. And that perception that business requires a capital, that is the first external perception. And then we have to be and this is something which I have learned from Rajat, from you only, Rajat, that be demand driven, not supply driven, the traditional market. So having ये जैसे गांव में अगर खुशबू होगी सर, तो वहां पर चाहे रोड कितना भी खराब होगा, लोग जाएंगे. Johor is a live example which is in Tamil Nadu. So हमारे लिए we are living in a very golden age where we have such a nice inspiration right now, like in for us, like for our generation. And it is not necessary to write, like I was an instrumentation engineer. It is not necessary that we should work only on the same core field, core competency. That was the age of past. But today, what I felt from by giving this, by doing this startup, by being a part of a startup frat community, and by attending so many 6am club, by being a member of 6am club, and what I found is, as Rajat sir has also quoted, if you can be expert on one thing, if you focus for some hours, 3,000 to some hours, but you can actually do it. If you, it's not necessary that because I have done degree on this, I cannot do this. It's all about, if you have focus and discipline and the consistency, then no one can stop you. You are better than rest of the other. And these are external barriers. Internal is like, I think the mindset creation. You should have that mindset creation. You should think about that, like, if you are staying in a place like suppose you are living in a Maharashtra right now, and you are watching us from Maharashtra, then you should think about how Shaporji Palonji might have thought about 70 years back. What might what thing had driven him, right? Or be it like I'm in Jharkhand, so how Tata Group at the 115 year back, he has thought that he is going to have a steel plant, right? So they, although they can always, they know it's a completely jungle place, and there is no any infrastructure, but what drives them, that is the mindset. So that is the something everyone should have, that mindset, that you can be same person, provided you are disciplined and focused. And all the time, whenever we are in trouble, like I am in trouble, I am and my coach Rajat is always there. I have no problem on that. And have a laser focus on your goal. That is the ultimate thing. Otherwise, if you have multiple goals, then you can, if you, it's like saying na ki, you go in different boats, then you will not be able to achieve where you want to go. And you should have that perception that yeah, I can do it. So that is the all the things you, I mean, the combination of all these things is important. And the mindset part is the most critical part. and and I think what you see, what you hear, and some things which are not in your control. The best part I would say about startup Fred group is, even if whatever circumstances you are, even if you are going low or anything, जैसे you might have seen a movie, MS Dhoni movie, wherein he was in TT, he was a ticket collector in Kharagpur, and he was having some dilemma what to do, whether to think about his father or whether to pursue his dream. And he just his supervisor told him to, you should just stick to it and टक करते रहना. तो कई बार ऐसे लाइफ में मोमेंट आएंगे कि आपको टक करते रहना है, और आई मीन things will do if you have a right attitude and the right faith on your dream. So never lose hope. That's what I would say. And this is what I can suggest. And be a part of a good ecosystem. Start respecting others. Start having that mutual respect. Then things will be fine. Don't just look for that I am a instrumentation engineer. If I am talking to a art person, then it's a different thing. Yeah, lawyer. You can learn from lawyer also. You can learn from anyone in the, even you can learn from a laptop repair shop vendor also. Every time you start learning, कब कौन काम आ जाए, you never know. Like I tell you, I'll give my life story. I was yesterday I had just missed some my wallet in one in my nearby place, and somehow I got a connection of a very good big businessman in Dhanbad. So it happens, sometimes things happen for reasons. So, and there are a lot of turning points in life. For me, I forgot to mention about while I was writing articles, the article was appreciated by somebody from Kerala. Like I was writing article, and and she got so much inspired that she started presenting. She was very much shy, and that was a turning point. Also, I forgot to mention. So you should always be thankful and be grateful that we are healthy, we are having a great life, and just don't go for a job seeker mindset, because Abdul Kalam sir has already said many times to be a job creator, and there is an opportunity. So that is what I would say to the young generation, and even not to the young generation, even to the generation who has already retired. They also have a life, because at the age of 62, 63, KFC was built. At the age of 63, this Nelson Mandela also got a growth. At the age of 63, a guy from Odisha who has already been retired from State Bank of India as a manager, he's now pursuing the second year in MBBS. So, and it is happening all over places. So it's not the so I think the moment you have that agility and energy, everyone will help you out. Everyone will help you out, and be positive on it. That's the thing.
All right. So real quick, एक तो आपने अपनी एक प्रिंसिपल आपने बताया कि be mutually respectful and always think about that anything that may go wrong will lead to the right result. What are the other core values that you have? This is outside of the actual technique कि भाई funding हो गया, incubation हो गया. What are the core values as a person that you follow, that you feel that has helped you in entrepreneurship?
Like I said, like the toy making is generally is helping the plastic industry. So right now I am making a toy which is not made from plastic. So I am already off the grid because many of the special economic zone which government is funding, like 550 crore park is there in Bangalore, in Pune it is there. So all these parks are made. All these parks are for plastic toys only. All these toys are plastic toys only, right? So
That's fine, man.
Yeah. So these are all our plastic
We,
toys. So
Baki
what happened?
entrepreneurs also will also have to juggle kids with startup. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So what happened is that when I have this mind, when I say that I want to help 2 to 3 crore farmers through making this toy. So automatically I am completely devoted to making toys from something coming from farmer. That is the biggest principle right now for me. And in terms of it gives me more energy basically to start, because many people are saying me, nah, yeah, Vishal, you start making from plastic, you can make it fast, you can do this. But I'm not interested on that. I'm like, that is my rigidity also. And because I know what is the problem in plastic. When I go to Goa, and I see so many of bottles floating and so many of waste floating. So I have some sensitivity, and I really wanted to see, because I have worked for 10 15 years, 10 12 years in the industry, and now I am doing something of my own. I don't want to deviate from this, in spite of whatever it may take, so that is what I would that is the thing which I that is my core value right now. And I that mutual respect part you just mentioned, sir, that the thing is like, sir, the problem with our the not the problem I suggest, is a habit. Like दो लोग बात करते हैं ना, they talk about some other person, they talk about things, they they talk about other person. So they talk about, now what is the intention, what I feel is like, when two-person talk about ideas, that can only happen if both of them have a mutual respect. That is the ultimate thing. Otherwise, that is a core principle. I mean, that will only create an ecosystem. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Very nice. Okay. So now, in addition to the core values, what are the core vehicles that, what are the core vehicles that you're bringing to new entrepreneurs in your new avatar as entrepreneur mentor?
Okay. Yeah, the what I feel about the core vehicle, I would say the core vehicle is in the name itself, the answer. Never go solo. Be
Okay.
Yeah. So the thing is, as you said, core vehicle, no, like
Yes.
I am able to do it because I have an ecosystem. Like
Okay.
right, startup rat community is a great ecosystem. So this is giving me a vehicle. So when I am talking about ecosystem, so the vehicle is automatically created once you start talking about. I think network is the biggest gold mine. Networking is the biggest gold mine. I think, and the Facebook ad is I mean there is nothing, I mean, many people are, everybody knows about it. So so I think the core vehicle is, you should focus only on creating a good networking ecosystem, and focus on your products, and be laser focused. That is the core vehicle. That's what I feel. I mean, this is what I feel. And if you want to add something, Rajat, let me know. Yeah.
No, now I'm coming to the my most favorite part of the interview, which I've been waiting, for almost like a week. That once I come to this particular part of the interview, it's going to be sizzling. So let me
Yeah.
just ask you the question. I'm just going to display your, it is very difficult to display all your achievements on the screen, but I'm just going to display the achievements on the screen, and I want you to go into detail about like each one of your stories, all the way till today. Like, how were you able to take this journey? Because any new entrepreneur should understand what you went through. First of all, you had to quit your job, so obviously there was some financial pressure also. Then, without having a lot of financial backing, how are you able to showcase your company? What is the startup ecosystem looking like in India? What are the things that a startup founder can leverage today in terms of funding, in terms of showcasing, in terms of like the networking platform that you said? You've also had the good fortune to have, been selected among the top 24 by Government of India Toycathon. So, how does it feel? You must have met lots of ministers, probably prime minister, whatever, right? Whether virtually or personally. So, how is this whole thing working? And what is the big support that a normal entrepreneur can rely on while they focus on their product?
Yeah, so what I would the what I suggest is like the ecosystem of current generation. We are very lucky and fortunate that we have got a digital age. The information is available freely right now. You can hear hundred of podcasts, which was not possible 10 years, 15 years back. So that is the first thing you are getting is a good information, good knowledge from all part of the world. Like my batchmate, my same age group, Bhavesh Agrawal can start a Ola, and he can have 20 lakh kilometer per day. So so that gives a different thing that if he can do it, that we can do it. So that's the thing which we are witnessing. And the when you see the smartphone revolution or internet revolution, then it's a digital age, so automatically things are everyone is connected. So thanks to the nice ecosystem we have. And in terms of getting to know about all this competition, everything is available, provided we are ready to see it, because whatever is shown is in the TV is something which is having a different perspective. But when you see, like, you go to a site like MSME hackathon, you go to some MI you go to Ministry of Education Innovation Cell, they are doing so many of competition. So all these competitions are there to give some kind of support to entrepreneur like us. And if you get one break, even if you are a runner, even if you have just participated, that gives a different kind of experience. And the level of transparency in this competition is right now is definitely helping me. And when you talk to, like I was talking to, like you gave an example that I'm talking to so many ministers and all that. Yeah, I've been talking, but not so like that. But yeah, so it's like that when I'm talking to these people, like I was having an MSME idea hackathon, which was going to give me 15 lakh funding if I am selected for final round. But final round I am selected now. I have to go for another stage. So
Wow.
I have selected from Jharkhand, so I have to get a competition at all India level. So there the questions which a MSME person asked me, that Vishal, your product you are said that you are making from Ahmedabad, so but your company is from Dhanbad. So you tell me that why are you supporting Ahmedabad ecosystem when you are so the thing is, no, so that's why I stopped, and I started making ecosystem here. So I am
Okay.
trying to create an ecosystem in my state itself through various ways, although it is
Wow.
time consuming. So when you are thinking about roots na, then we have to start from the scratch. Like यहाँ पर हो सकता है वो ecosystem ना हो, आपको वो build करना पड़ेगा, right? So that is how I am trying. And with lot of people, like I was in BIA, Bihar Industry Association in Patna 3 days back, and I met a entrepreneur who just got a 60 lakh funding from some college. So he gave me a different perspective, so when you're meeting so many people, so many things, then we have a different kind of perspective. So you get a like-minded people. So that's what I would suggest. I mean, instead of just going for a particular job is good, but what I suggest is if you have an interest and passion, then you should think what is need for the country. I think then things will get driven. The thing with people like me is, like, for me, we have earned enough, and we have not earned enough, but we have earned something. So we want, for us, what is good for the country becomes very critical when you are doing something. Otherwise it's of no otherwise I can go back to the job world. So you should think about what is good for the country. Like I have seen, like some of the things I am reading right now, and I found, I'll give an example, a very technical thing. Guar gum is a seed, you know it's a it's a it's a basically a plant which is
Yeah.
used for thickening agent in sauce and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in all these mayonnaise and all, and it is also used in refinery. It is also used in chemical plant. So our share, our raw material is 80-90% of the world, but the contribution of the citation and publication and the value addition is only 1%. Out of 12,500 citation globally, our citation is only 1%. So that shames me as a country, because 80% हमारा शेयर है उस चीज में, और हमारा 1% का citation है. इसका मतलब है कि हमारे जो बच्चे हैं ना, वो गौर गम के बारे में नहीं सोच रहे हैं, वो AI के बारे में सोच रहे हैं क्योंकि उसका ऐड आ रहा है, और AI और रोबोटिक्स से क्या होगा, हम इम्पोर्ट डिपेंडेंट होंगे फाइनली, वी आर गोइंग टू द सेम चैनल। सो अभी जरूरत क्या है, मैं सोच रहा हूँ मैं इसमें खिलौने बनाऊं, आई एम थिंकिंग आई शुड मेक सम 7 to इस तरह के 700 to 800 रॉ मटेरियल है, where we have 80% of the global shares, a small niche. But agar if I start making toys on this, I can definitely imbibe that thinking at the age of 11, 10. Then if I am successful, that that guys want to do something on pursue that, then my job is done. So that's what my aim is. The thing is, we have to think in a, not in terms of money. You have to think like what Jamshedji Tata would have thought at 1901 AD, at that time when India was not independent. Think in that terms. The moment you start thinking about that if they are thinking that, why are thinking so low, so that is the thing. Because as the secretary of earlier Nightingale said in USA about this simple concept, the job, everyone is the difference between the courage and failure is like, I think there is something which I think I can relate. It's more about courage is one thing, but having a mediocre thing is even a mediocracy is accepted in the society. So that's how we should think. Why we are becoming mediocre? We should become the best, because we have a very great civilization, and there is no point in talking good about the past if we are not doing anything for the present. Like today, we are so much depending upon small things. So that, and also for me, like I visited so many factories, and when I see like for a dairy factory also, which is a very good ecosystem, as many people said. But when you talk about the machine, the separators, the filtration plants, all these things are highly important. Gia, Tetra Pak, Westphalia, Alpha level, we are highly depending upon them. So that hurts me. So why something is not happening on that level? So I think the moment the young generation have that energy that हमें वो चीज करना है, अब वो उनको कौन पढ़ाएगा? टीचर को पढ़ाया, टीचर वो पढ़ाएगा जो उसको पे मिलेगा, राइट? तो कहीं ना कहीं रजे जैसे कोच को आना पड़ेगा, हम लोग को आना पड़ेगा. तो इसलिए हम लोग अभी वी आर ट्राइंग टू सी व्हाट वी कैन डू, because there are many people who are doing great job, but we are saying ki for a younger generation we should think in terms of, not in terms of earning money, but thinking about what is exactly the country need. कल को मेरे को कुछ हो जाए, I should not have a regret at the last 5 minutes of my life. So that is what every generation should have. And anyway, it's their choice. Yeah. Thank you.
So एक चीज तो, one of the main things I caught, which I would really like all the viewers to understand, is that the story told about Gujarat. I think Vishal, if I'm not wrong, you are now also supporting an industry which is probably nascent or non-existent. You're helping the tribals, in the sense that you're building all your raw material ground up in Jharkhand, and it's not easy because the industry doesn't really exist. So that is the key. I think quality of a good entrepreneur, just like you, is कि when you are in entrepreneurship, खुद का ही कल का भरोसा नहीं होता. But if you are able to take other people along, even at the time that you yourself are not settled, you yourself are facing, I'm sure you're facing in the manufacturing process daily struggles and everything, but you're taking everybody along just because somebody high up gave you that idea that you should support your own people around you that are not yet developed. So I think that is a great learning that I got from this interview. So I thank you for all your spirit and everything. Now
Thank you. Thank you.
real quick what would be the 2 or 3 things that you felt about the Startup Frat Academy or the Startup Launch program that you would recommend to the other viewers?
I would say that if you are good at something, even if you are bad at something, and if you are to convert that good bad to great, just join this means our Startup and Launch program. So if you want to go into the great zone or a best zone from good, then this is the platform. And if you want to have the like-minded people, like there are so many like-minded people like Sumit Paul sir, Ritu ma'am, Kamal ma'am, and lot of people are there. Wasim sir, lot of people, and Prabhat, Ranjan, and Manak sir. I mean, they're innumerous, and Pradeep sir. So everyone is expert. So once you are here, you will not be having a issue with respect to uh, the belief system. They will make you feel belief. They will believe you. They will start they will incubate you in a way that you will grow. That's what I would suggest. And if you really want to focus on a particular idea, you have to be diligently start going through the techniques which are there in the startup at launch course program. So like niche clarity, I would have seen more than 7 to 8 times the niche clarity blueprint video, wherein he's talking about a birthday example and going into the depth of it. So something which the course is made with lot of conviction and dedication, and and it really reflects on the people like me or many other entrepreneurs who are, because it's because the thing is, startup right group is not only supporting a particular individual, it is supporting a family. And finally, when the family gets empowered or enlightened, then the society gets enlightened. So I have no regret. I'm very happy that I'm going to this zone, and thanks all to Startup Red group and Rajatji for giving me such a nice education approach and laser focus approach. And 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 I would suggest ki if you want to convert your dream into reality, then you should think about it very seriously, and be a part of us, and maybe we will we can make something great. And maybe this startup frat group can become like a Silicon Valley of California. It's for only software industry. This startup frat can become a valley of everything. Valley of, you say in startup, when you see in a startup journey, there is a valley of death. So this startup frat group is actually a valley of exponential growth. Yeah.
Awesome. Very nice. So, lastly and finally, tell us something about your family. Tell us about how you have been balancing, doing the balancing act between family, finance, startup. When somebody takes the jump, the biggest problem that happens is you're suddenly out of balance. So, tell us something about your family life, how you're able to balance, what do they have to say about your journey, etc.
So for me, it was easy thanks to COVID pandemic. For me, it was easy. I was in Noida. I was living in a tier one city. I was living in a very good society and very good lifestyle. And when I see that there is a growth happening in the country, where there is an electrification all over the country, and in terms of internet, there is no issue in any states. So I thought, like, why not I stay with my grandparents, and I stay with my parents, and see to it what can be done on it. And because of the infrastructure created by the government in terms of highway, in terms of electricity, in terms of railway, in terms of everything, in terms of sense of security, we are able to take this decision. And I would suggest you start saving things more. Once you start save more, you start earning more, and you should be debt free. You should focus only on how you can make yourself debt free, because the moment you start to be on debt, you get into the job mode all the time. If you have worked for 5 years in the industry, every time you will have a money problem, you will think about quitting. So many people who have left job and started as a entrepreneurship, they have to go back to the job because they have some liability. The first thing is, you should not have any liability, and for that you have to have some compromise. Like, there are pros and cons. Like, we are staying in a tier 2 city. Schools may be that good, but maybe not that good as NCR, but that's fine. We are the one. If we अगर आज हम पैसा कमाएंगे 10 साल के लिए, आगे 10 साल के लिए, then we will be in a position that हम अपने बच्चों को ग्रेजुएशन के लिए यूरोप भेज सकते हैं. हमारे साथ तो वी हैव अ माइंडसेट राइट नाउ कि पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन के लिए लोग जाते हैं यूएस में या यूरोप में. Why not we think about making our kid getting graduated from all this big all this good education, from good country like Europe or anything. So we can think about it now by taking such act. This is what drives me. Like this is what I feel. I am very hopeful about it that I will be able to do that, and I have been getting supported. I have been selected in almost all the competition wherever I have been tried, and thanks to the support of my family. My wife is working, my father is also working. After retirement also he is on a sales trip, so he is also having a lot of work, and my mother is taking care of my child. So basically everyone is supporting each other, and we are trying to create an ecosystem wherein there is a possibility of growth. So everyone, when everyone supports you, then there is no any issue. And when some there is some if and but, then all the time startup threat is always there to back you. So this is what I would say. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Vishal. We've got like 100 plus comments on the stream, and a few on the other properties like the main Facebook page, Startup Frat Facebook page, and YouTube. So I think it's been a sizzling session. A lot of people wanted to be, lot of people wanted to be, um, you know, to be notified of this interview. They wanted to attend. They wanted to gain from you. Once again, if you're watching this interview, then you gotta head over to startupfrat.club/Vishal Sinha, where you can book a slot with Vishal in case you are a budding entrepreneur. You can get some advice and cut short your learning curve. Thank you so much, Vishal, for taking out time from your family time once again on the weekend
Yeah.
after work hours for being with us. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you for your
Yeah.
great vision and great encouragement that you're providing to all the youth of India.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing you in the
Yeah.
6 a.m. club soon.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
look forward to
Thank you.
having one more interview. As soon as you keep winning award, do let us know. We'd like to have newer
Yeah.
interviews.
Yeah. I also want to add, like, if anybody want to buy some educational toys, for that also I can offer good customized toys as per their problem. Like if a kid
Wow.
is having a problem in maths, I can really make a toy which can help them to solve it, or physics, or any particular thing, or any particular
Amazing.
topic which they are facing. So I can work on that also.
Awesome. So yeah, viewers can definitely head over and search for Sanskriti Khel Vidya or
.com.
Bipul
Yeah.
Khel Vidya,
Yeah. Yeah.
sanskritikelvidya.com.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
logo is showing on the stream, so just type this word in the browser and you'll be at his website.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vishal. It's been great. Thanks very much, my friend.